Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. As you know, I'm always in thrift shops looking for high-end style home decor on a budget, and today I've rounded up some great designer home decor dupes, not only finds from the thrift shops, but also a few DIY pieces and a few Amazon finds. Join me for this designer dupe challenge. Hello out there! I have multiple thrift finds and DIY dupes to show you in today's video, but let me actually start with a couple of designer pieces that I found great dupes for on Amazon. For the first inspiration piece, let's take a look at this floral block print quilt from McGee & Co. The queen size of this quilt is $235 currently, while the king size is $265. This is so beautiful, and I'm sure that the quality is excellent. No argument there. It looks gorgeous, but I needed something a little bit less just for the foot of my bed, so I turned to Amazon and found this one, which is also beautiful. It's $82 currently. I think I paid a few dollars more a week ago when I bought it, but this one looks beautiful on the foot of my bed and didn't put such a dent in the bank account. I love the neutral color. I love the trendy block print. I think that it adds just a nice warm and cozy touch to this bedroom. And the nice thing was this was available in a king size. This is 100% cotton, and I really love the soft and airy feel of it. Next, I've been having my eye on these pillowcases from Pottery Barn for a while now. They call them the Honeycomb series, and they're basically like a waffle with another additional kind of stripe running through it. But I think that they're really gorgeous and they could really add a high-end look. So I found these on Amazon that I think are a really good dupe. It's just a plain waffle weave, and they do come in lots of colors. For a 2-pack, these are $20 versus the Pottery Barn versions, which are $55 for each one. So I think that this was a great alternative, and I'm going to be replacing each of my standard size pillowcases with one of these ASAP. And now let's switch gears and look at this art piece at McGee & Co. called Woven Neutrals. This is a large piece of art that's a 41 by 41, and as you can see, it's currently $1,100. Now, I do think that it's a really cool and creative piece. It's made of strips of torn canvas that are then woven together in this basket weave style and framed out in a large square. It's tonal, but it's textural, and I love it, but I definitely want to try to make something similar on my own rather than spend that much. So my plan is to use a drop cloth that I already have on hand and cut it into strips to weave together to make my own version of this piece. I also have this pre-framed canvas that I picked up at the thrift store that I'm going to use as my frame for it. It's obviously going to be smaller than the Inspo McGee & Co. piece, but that's okay because this is sort of a trial run, and if I love it, I can make something larger. I'm going to be using a hot glue gun to glue strips of cloth onto the edges of my canvas and then work across to weave them together. My plan is to start only gluing one side of the strips and leave the other side free so that I can more easily weave, and then once a row is complete, glue the other side down. So here I am just cutting out my initial strips, and I'm just lining them up to see the general length that I'm going to need. At first I was doing fairly even pieces in width, just like the inspiration piece, but then I decided that I would change mine up and do varying widths of cloth strips so that it would add that much more interest and dimension to the piece. So I began to cut some narrower and some wider so that I could stagger the different widths as I weave. When I had what I thought was enough, I gathered them up, and then I can always go back and cut some more as needed. I began by gluing down the strips all the way across in just one direction, but only on one side. I left the other end unglued so that it would be easier, at least in my mind, to weave across them with the pieces going the opposite direction. Then I started the cross weaving, which is just really simply going over and under alternatively, and when I reached the end, I just trimmed off any excess and again used that hot glue gun to secure the ends down inside the space between the canvas and the frame. I used the edge of my scissors that I had on hand to press the ends down into the gap in between the frame. The process was a little more fiddly at the beginning, and since the pieces were so long and unsecured, but it got easier and faster as I went along. I would say that by the end, this complete piece took me about 45 minutes to weave. The exciting part of this project as a dupe though is that if you like the look of this, you can easily make one of these pieces at any size that you want. A large square like the inspiration piece that was 41 by 41, a large rectangle that would look great above a sofa, or a small piece that would be perfect for stacking with other artwork, and one drop cloth would still be all the cloth that you'd really need to do any of those sizes. All you would need to do is find a thrifted framed piece that is the size that you want and use that as your base. Near the end, I discovered that it was easier to kind of go through first and alternatingly lift the pieces that I would be weaving under, and then go back and lay my cross piece down and lay those down across it, rather than picking each one up one by one and weaving under it. So I wish I had done that a little earlier in the process, but que sera, sera. And this is what it looks like when I'm finished with my weaving. I did leave my edges raw, and I actually love this little piece. I've styled it here above my chest of drawers in the bedroom, and I really appreciate the tonal texture that it brings to this spot. Having that pre-framed piece to do this weaving over made this such a simple DIY to do, and now I want to try it on a larger scale piece for a bigger impact. Let me know if you might be trying this DIY. And now for a couple of thrift finds to share with you. These are from this past week. Now, you may have noticed that instead of tree skirts, you were seeing tree collars on a lot of designer sites the past few years. That one was from McGee & Co. It was $82 a few years ago, and this one from Pottery Barn is $129. Also, this one from Pottery Barn, which they call the Beachcomber Basket Tree Collar. Both really beautiful, but guess what? I found one at the thrift store for just $3.99. This is a seagrass woven collar. Now, I'm not sure that it came from Pottery Barn or anywhere like that, but I can tell you that even on Amazon and at Walmart and such, these are around $30, so I think I got an excellent deal for just $4. Also, I had been eyeing these lanterns from McGee & Co. The larger size here is $81, the smaller size a little bit less, but as you can tell, those would really add up if you were going to be buying multiple. I found this set of 3 at the thrift store for $37 total, and they came with the candles that are shown inside. Now, I showed these in a video couple of weeks ago, but I just wanted to throw them in this video as well because they are really a great designer dupe, and I thought that it was a really good deal. All I had to do was scrape off a little bit of wax that got on the glass fronts of a couple of them, and they were ready to go. So not much doing a makeover on these, just putting them out as they were, and I felt like I saved a lot of money by shopping at the thrift shop this time to get this lantern look. For the 2 that I ended up using together on my fireplace, this was $18 total for this look. Now, we all look at home decor items all the time on this channel, but as we know, designer sites always sell scents as well. This is Amber Interior Shop, and she's selling this spray called the Cedar Leaf Room Spray. It is 3.4 ounces for $70. Now, it sounds like it smells wonderful. The hints are cedarwood and teakwood, complemented by citrus notes of mandarin and lemon peel. So I'm going to try to just whip up my own and get a little more in the fall season spirit here. So I have my own set of essential oils that I got from Amazon last year, and I like to play with these every once in a while. So I do have one that is cedar, I have a lemon, and I also have a sweet orange scent, which could work for the mandarin. I also have this little spray bottle that an old room spray was in, so I'm just going to be using this one to mix up something similar to this Amber Interior scent. I started off with 8 drops of the cedar oil as the beginning of my base. Next, I added 4 drops each of the sweet orange and the lemon. I gave those a little bit of a stir, and then it's on to some witch hazel, which I just kind of eyeballed this, but I filled it up maybe about 1/3 of that bottle with witch hazel, and then the rest of the bottle you just fill up with water. So you have 3 ingredients: the oil, the witch hazel, and the water. The witch hazel helps the oil and the water to combine, which is why you need that, and it's pretty common in any DIY room spray or anything like that. So this was really, really easy. If you have some essential oils on hand, give it a try. I'm going to put my final recipe that I would recommend for this smell in the description box. This spray is perfect for misting over top of fabrics and upholstery to freshen up your room. So now let's move on to another DIY dupe. So I've been eyeing these paper mache pieces from McGee & Co for a while now. They start at $96 and it just kind of depends on what size you get. As you can see, these are really beautiful, rich, dark brown color, and to me they don't so much look like paper mache, at least from the photos that I can see on their site, but they just do look kind of like stone or textured like. So I'm going to use my textured spray paint, which is Rust-Oleum Transformation spray paint in the color Autumn Brown, and I'm just going to be giving this vessel that I have on hand that's not particularly special to me and needs a little something anyway, a touch of this spray paint to get a nice deep dark brown textured look. This spray goes on a lot lighter than it ends up drying, so if you do end up trying that, just keep that in mind. When you first spray it on, it's going to look like it's the totally wrong color, but as you can see, after this has dried for maybe only 5 minutes, you can really see the darkness come out, the texture begin to show, and it looks awesome. I could style this piece mostly anywhere around the house and it will look great, and I think that I'm going to do a couple different sizes so that I can stagger them, kind of like that initial photograph from the McGee & Co website. And I think that these are really, really pretty. Another piece that I noticed as I was looking through the designer sites was this kitchen still lifed frame print from Amber Interiors. Now this is $150. It is an 8x10 and it's printed on canvas and it's in a black frame. So this caught my eye because it was such a small piece and I thought I could surely recreate this. I ended up finding the exact same image, which is actually in the public domain, at least here in the US, so it was right there on Wikimedia Commons. You can go to this link, which I will include in the description box, and you can download this image for free. While you can certainly have this printed on actual canvas, just like the inspiration piece, and even have it framed somewhere like CVS, that would cost about $59, plus they're having 40% off, which they have all the time. That would be about $36, but I'm just going to be printing it out on poster and using some Mod Podge over top like I do usually. For an 8x10, it was less than $5, and with the same 40% discount, it ended up being less than $3 to print this out. Now, I use this Mod Podge trick all the time. It's a tried and true classic, so I'm not going to show you the whole process. I'm just going to show you a really quick snippet of me doing this. I like to go in and do 2 coats a lot of the time if I really want to make it look like more of a textured 3D painting, which is what I did on this one. But this was my first coat, and once this dries and I have it framed, I have a linen wrapped matting there, as you can see. I think that this looks so pretty. Actually, this frame is bigger than what I was looking for. I couldn't find a smaller, thin 8x10 frame at the thrift shops this week, but for now I put it in this one, and it's actually really beautiful. Such an easy way to duplicate that $150 piece from the designer shop. And here's another Amazon find for you. I was looking at these floral quilted placemats on McGee & Co's site. Now this is for one placemat. These are $24 each, and as you can see, it's got a nice scalloped edge. It's very sweet, and it has a floral block print across it. So I wanted something a little bit less than this because I would obviously need multiple, and that can add up at $24 each. I didn't find an exact duplicate, but I did find these scalloped placemats on Amazon that come in a much larger pack for a much lower price. As you can see, it's $24 for a set of 6 of these instead of for 1, and they have lots of different colors, although I'm partial to the cream, and these could be such a great layering piece for your tablescape. That about wraps it up for today's video. I hope that you were inspired by a couple of these designer dupes. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and leave me a comment letting me know what you enjoyed. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of these in your feed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at the next video.